And this is what it boils down to. Today, the 5th of November, America will decide between Kamala Harris, the incumbent vice president on the Democratic ticket, and Donald Trump, the former president, on the Republican ticket. And the choices could not be more stark. The messaging in the final 24 hours leading up to Election Day could not be more stark. Kamala Harris is talking about a message of optimism, a message of moving forward and turning the page on what has been a tumultuous Trump era. Trump, on the other hand, has said that everything that's wrong with America, and mind you, a large number of people in this country find that the country is on the wrong track, that is because of the Biden-Harris administration, whether it's on economy, whether it's on immigration, whether it's on the two wars that are going on right now. Trump is squarely laying the blame at the White House, where we're reporting from, saying that the Biden-Harris administration is squarely responsible for the mess that America and the rest of the world finds itself in. But today it's going to be the choice between, on the one hand, possibly making history. Kamala Harris could become the first ever woman president of the United States in the almost 250-year history of this country. America has never had a woman president. Hillary Clinton came closest back in 2016, 8 years ago, when she lost to the same Donald Trump, who's now standing in the way of Kamala Harris potentially becoming the first ever woman president of this country. On the other hand, Trump looks like 2024 for him is unfinished business. Remember, in the history of American presidencies, a successful president is almost always decided by whether he gets a second term. Trump believes he was robbed of a second term in 2020 in an election which him and his supporters have been denying that they ever lost in the first place. And more importantly, they say that that election was stolen away from them. So this is a chance at redemption for Trump, his MAGA base, and of course, a lot of non-Trump aficionados or non-Trump lovers who are also backing him this time around. In fact, we've been in Washington for the last couple of days, and people that we normally speak to 4 years ago or 8 years ago who were reluctant to say that they were supporting Trump, this time around are quite openly saying that they would prefer to back Trump. Now, what's working for him is the message that he's a strong man and that when he was in office, the economy was doing better. At least average Americans were feeling that their economic plight was better than what it is right now. So he's running on that record. He's also running on what he calls the misgovernance of the Biden-Harris administration. But let's be very clear. This race is going to go down to the wire. It's going to boil down to about half a dozen swing states, 3 in the north, about 4 in the south. That's Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania in the north, which is a must-win for Kamala Harris. There is no path for her to 270 without winning these 3 states. On the other hand, Trump is looking strong in the southern Sun Belt states, Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, North Carolina. He won only 1 out of those 4 last time around in 2020. This time, he is leading in almost all of them. One significant thing that we should pay attention to is the turnout. Already 75 million Americans have voted early, either through mail-in ballots or through early in-person voting. That's almost half of the total turnout of 2020. The question is, how many more will turn out today on Election Day? It's about which of the two bases are more enthused and find it more attractive to come out and feel more aggrieved or feel more passionately about putting their candidate in the White House. The question really is, who has the edge going into these battleground states? The Harris campaign feels there is one issue that is resonating statewide, and that is the issue of abortion. And they're looking at the early voting data, which seems to suggest that college-educated white women, particularly older white women, are voting for Harris in numbers they thought was not possible up until a few weeks ago. Trump, on the other hand, is backing on his non-educated, non-college educated white male vote, and also on the youth vote, whether it is black young men or even Hispanic young men who feel left out of this Democratic coalition. So it will ultimately boil down to a fight between the two social coalitions, a fight between the ardent supporters of both sides, and ultimately who is more enthused to turn up for their candidate. It is going to be a riveting Election Day, and may I say election night, here in America. And join me, Zakir Jacob, and my video journalist Chintan Puri, who will be here through the day today and through the next few days to get you the very latest in the race for the White House.